these meetings. And I'm just going to make a very quick statement, which I'm not supposed to do, before we actually start the meeting. And that is, I want to congratulate all the winners of the primaries this year, both in June and September. And we look forward to working with everybody to elect our slate, our Democratic slate, from top to bottom. And we are thrilled that so many Democrats came out to vote in last week's primaries, both in the Bronx and throughout the state. And you should know that of all the counties in the state, and there are 62 of them, the Bronx had the highest percentage for Governor Cuomo and for Tish James. And this year we have an opportunity to expand what we've done here by electing Democrats to Republican congressional seats, Republican state Senate seats, and hopefully turn both of those houses into majorities for us. And in the state Senate, if we do that, we can get a lot of important things done, such as codifying Roe v. Wade, passing the DREAM Act, stronger tenant laws, passing early voting, fighting climate change, things that the Assembly has done and hopefully now the Senate will do. But in order to do that, we need a united party, and we need to dedicate ourselves to electing every Democrat running here in the Bronx and beyond. So I look forward to all of us being able to give Trump and his allies a very strong message that their days are numbered.
See, that's the wrong message. That's the wrong
So
message.
with that, let's get down to our agenda.
Whatever. Anyway.
In order to carry out the orderly process of this county committee meeting, I hereby appoint the following: a credentials committee, tellers to aid in the tallying of the roll call, and a parliamentarian. For the credentials committee, the chair would be Yves Filius. The tellers, Glendalis Salgado, and parliamentarian Mariela Salazar, who's sitting up here on the dais. The first order of business is to call the roll. In order to call the roll, I ask that the credentials committee chair, Yves Filius, to please report on whether a quorum of county committee members have properly signed in for this meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you. The Credentials Committee Chair has so advised me, and I recognize that a quorum is present. I call upon our parliamentarian, Mariela Salazar, to read a brief summary of our rules and the procedures under which this meeting shall be conducted.
Good evening, everyone. Pursuant to Section 7-4 of the Rules and Regulations of the Bronx Democratic Party, unless otherwise provided within such rules, the procedures for meetings of the County Committee shall be governed by Robert's Rules of Order, newly revised. The order of business at this organizational meeting shall be as follows: roll call, filling of vacancies of the County Committee, election of temporary chairperson, election of temporary secretary, election of chairperson, election of secretary, adoption of rules and regulations, election of other officers. Speakers: only those who are duly elected members of the officers of this body will be permitted to speak to the issues raised in these proceedings. Recognition of speakers: all such speakers must be first recognized by the chairperson. Identification of speakers: prior to addressing this assembly, all such speakers must identify themselves by name and by the assembly represented by such member. Number of speakers, length of speech: no member shall speak for more than 3 minutes, and no more than 3 speakers may speak on the same side of any question. We will ask for your cooperation and strict adherence to this rule. Voting procedure, Section 2-6.7. All voting of this body shall be by voice unless the chairperson shall decide that a vote shall be by standing division or by roll call. Provided, however, that such roll call vote shall be taken off the county committee on the election of any temporary or permanent officer of the county committee where more than one candidate is placed in nomination, and if requested by 150 of the members present of the county committee. Further, on every roll call, the vote of the members of each assembly district shall be announced by a district leader. If 1/3 of the members present of the county committee of any assembly district in any assembly district not divided into parts, or 1/3 of the members present of the county committee of a part of an assembly district where an assembly district is divided into parts, shall, upon request, have the right to have the members of such committee polled. In the event of a request for a polling, the chairperson of the county committee shall appoint 2 tellers to conduct such poll on the floor of the meeting. And while such poll is being taken of the particular assembly district or subdivision thereof, the roll call of the balance of the county committee shall continue. Copies of the rules and regulations adopted in 2016 were distributed to you at the entrance or proposed for adoption by this county committee without amendment. Thank you.
Thank you. The chair recognizes Elsie Martinez. The chair recognizes Elsie Martinez. Is there a second for this motion? The motion's been seconded. All those in favor of this motion to dispense with the calling of the roll, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
Abstention.
Filling of vacancies. We're on the issue of filling of vacancies. The chair recognizes Bruce Feld.
Later. Yeah.
Is there a second for the motion?
What's the motion?
What is the motion?
The motion is to dispense with the filling of vacancies at this time. There are vacancies on the county committee.
Okay.
The motion is to refer that to the executive committee. Those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay.
Nay.
The ayes have it. The motion is adopted. The next part of our agenda, and by the way, you were all given copies of the party's rules and regulations, and in it spells out the agenda. It's in the party rules and what order we have to do it in. The next item on the agenda is the nomination and election of temporary officers. The next order of business is the election of a temporary chair. Are there any nominations? I recognize Kevin Riley. I'm sorry, Randy Martos. Aurelia Green has been nominated as temporary chair of the Bronx Democratic County Committee. For the purpose of seconding this nomination, the chair recognizes Kate Theobald. Are there any other nominations for the position of temporary chair of the county committee?
Me.
Seeing none. Those in favor of Aurelia Green, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Anybody opposed to Aurelia Green? It's unanimous.
She was the deputy. Right, she was deputy.
The next order of business. Can I go to the next order of business, please? We have to go according to the agenda. Shouting doesn't mean you get your way in the meeting. The next order of business is the election of a temporary secretary.
Aye.
Are there any
What
nominations?
is it? This
I
phone.
recognize Antonio Figueroa.
Nominate me for secretary. You seconded.
Thank you. She nominated Jeffrey Dinowitz, me, as temporary secretary. Is there a second? For the purpose of seconding this nomination, I recognize Neva Shillingford-King.
See, I have that already written down, right? So. Very interesting.
Thank you all for your support. Are there any other nominations for the position of temporary secretary? Hearing none, I rule that Jeffrey Dinowitz has been duly elected as temporary secretary of the Bronx Democratic County and ask him to assume his duties. The next order of business is the election of a permanent chairperson. At this time, the chair recognizes Julia Rodriguez.
I know, they already have some saying. We got her on video, she was electioneering during the election.
The chair recognizes Cynthia Cox for the purpose of seconding the nomination.
She's a district leader. That's the one that just drew it. I saw it on social media, that should be addressed.
Okay. Are there any other nominations for this position?
Who was the nominee? Cynthia Cox. I don't know. Don't tell me. Don't tell me. Yes, it did. Okay.
Hearing none. I, Aurelia Green, rule the nominations for the position of permanent chairperson are closed. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All against, say nay.
Nay.
I announce that Latoya Joyner has been duly elected as the permanent chairperson of the Bronx Democratic
I
County.
thought it was Cynthia Cox. I don't know. Can't do me a
As
favor?
Latoya Joyner is not present
me a
today, I will
favor,
continue to act as temporary chair until an officer set forth in our rules and regulations at section 2(2) is duly elected. The next order of business is the election of a permanent secretary. At this time, the chair recognizes Vanessa Gibson.
I am proud to nominate Jeffrey Dinowitz as the permanent secretary of the Bronx Democratic County Bronx Dem.
The chair recognizes John Colazzi. I'm sorry. The chair recognizes Tom Messina. Thank you. Are there any other nominations for this position?
They nominated somebody.
All those in favor of Jeffrey Dinowitz for the position of permanent secretary, please stand.
Oh, really? Oh.
I announce seeing. You may be seated. All those in favor of Soneris Lopez for the position of permanent secretary, please stand. I now announce, you may be seated. I now announce that Jeffrey Dinovitz has been duly elected as the
This is what time? It's already 7:20. Yeah. Try to live stream it. You can do it.
Thank you all very much for your overwhelming support.
Go on the,
Adoption of rules and regulations for the Bronx Democratic Party. At this point,
and then you don't
I, the secretary, recognize Yesenia Aponte.
Online, on Facebook.
Excuse me, Yesenia Aponte.